There's a profound loneliness that has nothing to do with being alone. It's the loneliness of being in a crowded room, laughing at the right moments and contributing to the conversation, yet feeling completely and utterly unseen. You feel like a ghost at the banquet. You're present, but no one is speaking to you, the real you, the one hiding just behind your eyes. This feeling isn't a failure. It's not social anxiety, and it doesn't mean you're broken. It's a spiritual ache. It's the pain of a deep, authentic self suffocating under the weight of social performance. The psychologist Carl Jung spoke of the journey to become who you truly are. He understood that this quest, the most important one of our lives, is almost always a solitary one. It's a path that often leads away from the crowd, not deeper into it. Why is it that some of the most sensitive, thoughtful, and profound individuals often find themselves walking alone? It's not because they are unlikable or arrogant. It's because they have, consciously or unconsciously, made a choice. They have stopped trading their internal peace for external approval. They have become allergic to the static of superficiality and crave the clear signal of truth. This exploration isn't about why you feel lonely. It's about why your solitude might be the most powerful and honest sign of your integrity. We will uncover the 5 profound strengths that often look like social failure to the outside world. If this already feels familiar, if you've ever chosen a quiet evening with a book over a loud party you should have gone to, then you understand. You are not isolating, you are protecting something sacred. The allergy to pretense. For many, social interaction is a game. There are rules, scripts, and acceptable topics. You talk about the weather, your job, the latest show. It's a performance, and most people are comfortable actors. But for the person we're talking about, this performance is exhausting. It feels like a lie. It's not that they are better than small talk, they are simply incapable of sustaining it. It feels like eating paper. There is no nourishment. They have a deep, visceral allergy to pretense. When they are forced to engage in it, they feel their energy drain away, their light dimming. They crave conversations that have weight, discussions about ideas, fears, dreams, and the messy, complicated truth of being human. Carl Jung observed that society is built on these shared performances. We wear a social mask to be agreeable, to fit in, to function. But for some, that mask begins to itch. Then it becomes heavy. Finally, it becomes suffocating. The person with few friends is often the one who has decided they can no longer breathe under that mask. They would rather be alone with their one true face than be celebrated in a crowd while wearing a false one. This isn't arrogance, it's a desperate act of self-preservation. The price for this authenticity is high. When you stop playing the game, the other players often don't know what to do with you. The invitations may dwindle, but what you gain is invaluable. You gain yourself. This solitude is not a void. It is the sacred space you've cleared for realness to grow. The internal compass. Think about how most people navigate their lives. They use a kind of social radar, constantly checking for external signals. Am I liked? Am I successful? Am I fitting in? Do they approve? Their self-worth rises and falls with the tides of outside opinion. The person who walks alone has learned to navigate differently. They have built their own guidance system, an internal compass. This compass is forged in the quiet, difficult moments of life. It's built from self-reflection, from facing their own faults, from surviving their own storms. They have learned, often the hard way, that external validation is a temporary fix. It's like sugar, a quick rush followed by a crash. They have chosen instead to find their nourishment from within. This is true independence. It is not a cold, defiant wall built to keep others out. It is a solid internal foundation that allows them to stand steady, whether they are praised or criticized. They no longer need anyone to tell them who they are. This quality profoundly changes relationships. When you don't need others for validation, you become free to choose them out of genuine desire. Your connections are no longer based on filling a void or curing your loneliness. They become a conscious, deliberate sharing of 2 whole, complete worlds. This is why they are so selective. They are not looking for someone to complete them. They are looking for someone who resonates with the completeness they've already built within themselves. Guardians of their energy. Have you ever left a social gathering feeling not just tired but depleted, as if something was stolen from you? People who walk alone are often highly sensitive to energy. They understand on a deep level that their attention, their presence, and their emotional output are finite, precious resources. They are guardians of their energy. For them, many social interactions are not an exchange, they are attacks. Shallow conversation, obligatory appearances, and relationships built on convenience all drain this precious well. On the other hand, a deep, honest conversation with one trusted person can feel like a deep spring, refilling their entire being. Because their energy is so vital to them, they can no longer afford to spend it carelessly. They aren't antisocial. They are selectively social. They have done the math and realized that the cost of fitting in is often their own inner peace, and they are no longer willing to make that trade. This makes their small, curated social circle incredibly valuable. If you are one of the few people they let in, it's not because they were lonely or had a free evening. It's because you are someone who nourishes their soul rather than drains it. They would rather have one deep, authentic connection than 100 shallow acquaintances. Their small circle isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of a life that is intentional, curated, and protected. A vast inner landscape. Why is this person so comfortable being alone? Because the truth is they are almost never lonely. When they are by themselves, they are not sitting in an empty room. They are exploring a vast, rich, and endlessly fascinating inner landscape. Their mind is a library, it's a studio, it's a garden. It is a world unto itself, populated by ideas, questions, memories, and connections. To an outsider, they might look like they are doing nothing. They might be staring out a window, reading a book, or just sitting in silence. But inside, a universe is unfolding. They are processing the day. They are connecting two seemingly unrelated ideas. They are replaying a memory to understand its meaning. They are in a constant, active dialogue with their own psyche. Carl Jung championed this inner exploration. He believed that the most important discoveries are made in this internal world. This person isn't running from the world when they seek solitude. They are running toward the richness of their own mind. The noise and demands of the outside world often feel like a distraction, pulling them away from this more important, more fulfilling inner work. Their solitude is not an escape, it's a destination. It's their favorite place to be. Nourished by the quiets. Most of the world is terrified of silence. We fill every available second with noise, music, podcasts, television, chatter. The silence is a void, and in that void, the thoughts we've been running from tend to show up. The person who walks alone has done something very brave. They have stopped running. They have sat in the quiet, they have faced the void, and they have discovered a secret that the rest of the world misses. The void is not empty, it is full. It is full of clarity, it's full of insight. It's full of the quiet, small voice of their own soul which was drowned out by the noise. They are nourished by the quiet. In this silence they find their center. They untangle their emotions. They hear their own intuition. This is where true growth happens, not in the frantic doing, but in the quiet being and integrating. The loneliness that once felt like a punishment has transformed into a sanctuary. What looks like an absence of people is, in fact, the profound presence of the self. They no longer fear being alone, because in their solitude they have finally truly found themselves.